What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode here on All Ran. Trying to take all the mods that are out there and create a realistic feel to Farming Simulator 25. Our journey continues on. Right now, we are doing a contract. We are at the end of June. And it's about $16,000 for this, but we are planting eco beans. So I'm hoping this will work out nicely. It is a little muddy on this field. It rained this morning. Well, I guess more overnight than it did anything else. But the farmer's like, let's go, let's do it. And I'll show you. David's pretty firm. He wants to get it in. He wants these soybeans in. It's 20 acres worth of field. Be just under $17,000 in the bank. So that works out nicely for us. There's a few other fields around that I thought maybe just down the road, field 35. We did some tillage there for David. He wants standard soybeans in there. I told him we'll have to review once we're done field 38 because I don't know if we'll have enough time. Other than that, there's not a lot of contracts on there, except for the harvesting ones to get going. So let's jump in. Nothing really new here. So get an old 1600. I think I talked about last episode that might have popped up. Got this little 5M. And, it's not bad. It's 120 horse, though. But kind of could do our little tillage work. Part of me really wants to pull the trigger on it. I know we talked about, possibly putting up another. Randy gave a few recommendations as well. It kind of could be our little baling tractor. It could do a lot of that little grunt work for us. We have to put so many hours on the versatiles. This one has 16.4. That's why it stood out to me. Not a lot of hours just on it for 22 months. Round baler, not too worried about that. I was kind of hoping we'd see a planter. A larger planter. Because, this one's nice, but we can't really rotate it, and it just won't work with a lot of the roads. It wants to clip a lot of things, which has been kind of the maneuverability issue. I could put it on the trailer, but then we have to make sure that we're always using a piece of equipment with the lift bucket to pull it off the trailer and reset it. So we'll continue to go on. This has got about an hour of work here. That's what it's telling me. So we'll have to keep trucking through. I'll probably throw this into a time lapse while we work through this, and then we'll kind of come back because the other thing we have to think about now. Come down here. Where's Jasmine? Jasmine is 98% on the reproduction, which means the baby is on the way. Which means we can keep Max, so we can keep Jasmine essentially, but I'm going to get rid of Jasmine. Sparky's probably got to go to avoid inbreeding. So, Sparky, you've served well. You got a few others. Well, you got Jupiter pregnant as well, I think. So, we'll move on from there. We got a few in the works here. Probably do the same thing, send Trooper away once Dixie has it, and then mean velocity starting to go down in price. So I think we're going to get rid of mean velocity as well next month. That Strange Bonnie will give birth, and then we can hopefully find another limousine bull to put in there for the time being. But yeah, a lot going on. Kind of the time of year to work some contracts, help out. Last month, was it this month we harvested? Let's go up here. It was this month we harvested. Beginning of June, so we've got a while on the grass. But it's alright. We'll continue to truck along. One of the other things I need to look at doing is I don't think we have precision farming data on our field 138, so after we harvest it, we'll have to definitely go through and get that set up. so we have some more data to work with. But yeah, let's hop into a time lapse. Let's get this going. I appreciate the continued support from everybody. Loving the feedback lately as well. Let's hop into the time lapse. All right, so we did end up getting David's other field done. That's why it is now 8 o'clock at night. Just trying to sneak through here. Got all these markers back on. Let's go in and shut those off on settings. I think that's when I was trying to set up auto drive. There we go. So yeah, we knocked out a few more contracts. Sitting at just under 130,000. Let me do that. There we go. We just want to give this baby a bath. But yeah, so some more money. We'll take a look at the used market shortly before we call it a night. Like I said, next month we'll have to a little bit of a herd around. Finally get to that point, which is nice. So we'll start seeing some calves. Really get in there, even though I'm sure there'll probably be some. Well, we won't use the wheat planting for this. 365 definitely needs a bath. Get in there. That field is pretty mucky. 35 not so bad. That's why you kind of see a little less mud on tires. Plus we just went down the road, but that should work. So we'll get this stowed away. See if I can get this through here. Last time I felt it was really tight. And there we go. Get this stowed away. This winter we're going to definitely make sure we get some of this stuff sorted. Cleaned, maintenance done. The whole 9 yards there. There we go. Want to hitch that, drop it. Shut everything off. And we'll head around and we'll go inside and look at the computer and see what's on the used market. I'm still really tempted if that 5M's on there to grab that 5M John Deere. Alright, so a lot of the stuff we've already seen, not really pertaining to us yet, at least. 5M is still on there for 36. Bradle. Size of that one, does it say? 9,014. It's 23,000, 47% off. So it's probably the one that they call small, which is like 11,000 in it. You know, let's take a look. So it's set up for big, but that's 26,000. So that's not, I mean, that's still a win for us. So it's kind of tempting. That says plus 500. So it's, I don't think it's 23. Oh, yeah. So it is the non one, which is still more capacity. Like I said, pretty good spread rate there. Something to think about. Kubota M8. Tempting. And sprayer. Big self-propelled sprayer. I don't think there's any self-propelled equipment on here though right now. Other than another box, right? That's what we saw earlier. Yeah, box, dry box, and that's it. So it looks like nothing really stands out. I think we're going to sit on that 5M. I mean, it's the 1590. It's only 94 horsepower. If we wanted to max out, we're looking at another 13 grand on it. So I'm going to actually say probably not. So we'll call it a night, and we'll be in July now when we come back. So I'll see y'all shortly. All right. We're in August. We've got some bales we're going to sell with our new Load King. You see our financials are down, though we should be getting a payment from the lumber yard. I'm not sure exactly how much it's going to be. I don't know why it hasn't processed yet. There was not a lumber yard, so we had to place one on this map. But we cleared all this out during our free July, essentially. Ideally, I'd like to get a shed in here. We'll have to play around with the ground level and everything, but I think we get, some type of shed to get some of our other equipment stowed away. If it's a large enough shed, that's kind of our goal here. We also, got to level out the ground a little bit. Have not made it to cut the trees in between the fields out there yet. That'll be a plan. And in all honesty, too, I kind of want to take out the rest of this. But I also wasn't sure how much we're going to get for the wood, but we probably should clear this area a little bit. Because, I feel we could definitely get, a future grain system, larger one, kind of set up back here and get another shed or two in up over here to give us a little room to store our equipment so it's not all tucked in tight like that. But that's just something I'm thinking about. But like I said, we're going to go sell these bales. Hopefully by the end of the day, when we know what's going on with the wood. Usually it pays you right off. I don't know if it's a glitch or not, but we'll see. So let's just see where we want to take the hay to. The hay says hay bales. Okay. So I would say let's look at the sell points. And I'd say it's probably going to be the South Hay Bale is the closest one, right? So we'll head down there. And like I said, eventually want to get to the point. We are making a little bit of money. I will sell another truckload too of hay bales because it should be an okay amount. And then, we're kind of good. The pen still has 190 in it, so 1,000 liters plus another 25,000 from the meadow. So they're not really burning through the hay. Technically we probably get away with all of it because we're gonna bale a couple more. Well, at least this month we should be good to go on baling, and then probably maybe sneak in November. We'll see. It is 109 degrees, a high of 113 today, which is crazy. With the low being 59 at night, it's been a lot of rain through the summer at night so far. So it'll be interesting to see how our beans and corn come out with that. But yeah, we'll come back to it when we get down to the sale point. Maybe we'll actually come back when it's our second time down there. Alright, so the second load, by the way, we did, in the middle of bringing the other load down here, we did get paid for the lumber. So that was nice. I believe, all in all, it was like $12,700. So, not showy at all. Interesting that the animal dealership logo is still lit up because the rest of them are not. Alright, so what I think we got. Okay, keep this going through here all at once. So yeah, just under 10 grand. So we're gonna head back to the farm. Probably put this down where we did some tree clearing. Probably the best place to put it for the time being. Why that happens, I want to look at something. So I noticed the field across the road from us is nothing planted in it. And selling those bales and some of the lumber essentially covers this price. We end up with like $700 left over, I think. But I'm thinking 146 we buy and we turn into another hay plot. If not silage even. Kind of for some reason staring down this field too. It's 10 acres at 21,000. Definitely kind of intrigues me, to say the least. And obviously you get some more that are a little more expensive. But I wouldn't mind buying up this section here. They call it the Boggy Creek. So it's 34,000. But it gives us access to another area that's just kind of gravel down here that could be a shed. So something I'm keeping my eye on. And we'll actually, here, let's run over here. Kind of walk you through and show you. So, I mean, it's not large per se, but this would actually be ideal for a grain location. And the reason I say that is, let's back up. A Volvo for sale now, nice. Let's go into construction. Silos. Let me see if we can find a decent sized grain leg in here. I know we had a few at one point. The Brock one way too big for us. Pretty sure. I could be wrong. I mean, so that's a 1.2 million. It's 200,000 for that one. Thought we had a nice one. I'm gonna have to go to production for the dryers because that's where a lot of it probably was. Unibins. Nope. So let's go to production factories. Give me a grain dryer. Maybe we did not put any in our mod folder for this map. I thought we had some options here. Well, there's a old-fashioned grain dryer that would definitely fit. Runs off straw. $50,000 for that. So I would say, yeah, sheds, silos. Silos extension, we're going to take a quick look through there. I don't see anything. Containers, just make sure there's nothing in there. Yeah, so, you know, silos, obviously that's the big one. You know, it's 800,000. That definitely fits down here through a drive-through. That one's just too big. Actually, there's the AGI. It's 420,000, but this is what I'm saying. This fits. So I would say that, and then we have all the well, those aren't extensions actually. You know, the big second one, drive through. I mean, 1.2 million. It's a bit crazy, but you get what I'm saying, right? This would probably be the ideal place to have our bin system. Down here, away from the farm a little bit. reduce the noise up in the barnyard. That's what I'm thinking. These are the silos I'm seeing. I'm going to look around. I know there's a few more out there, so we'll check those out. But yeah. So I think what we need to do, though, while we're in here, is kick over to the farmland. And like I said, nothing is planted in this one. I say we spend the $12,000. We plant more grass in there. Credit on the bank. All right, so we own that. That's great. Let's hop back up here. We'll have to stow this. And then we'll get the cedar out. And get that grass planted so we can get at least one cut off it, hopefully this year. See ya. So, crazy. It is now 113 degrees on August 1st. Here in the zoo. Yeah. We're going to get some grass seeded in. Do want to take a quick look now that we got that new plot. I want to see if we're just missing anything. Just that Volvo. I mean, that would be a hefty piece of equipment once we get larger, but some more fertilizer there. I don't think we're going to need that. Vermeer mower. I mean, brush mower we have multifunction. I kind of like that, to be honest with you. Would love to have the money to afford this. But I think we come down here and look at our other planner, 33,000. We still wouldn't have enough money. We'd just spend all our money to do it. And we would not have enough in the end, unfortunately. The only thing that frustrates me with this is, like I said, you can't swivel it, spin it. At least I don't think so. You can raise and lower this pivot right here and here. That's about it. So I want to kind of find a way. I think that's the upgrade we need to make in the future. Oops, kick this on. I think that's the upgrade we got to make in the future, though, is going to be the actual planter. Because our focus is soybeans and corn. Let's be honest. We're in Missouri. With that said, though, we're going to head up to our new field and we're going to get some seed. And hopefully our hired worker is done spreading some lime. They'll come back, grab the roller, and get that going. See, like right here, like, obviously there's no clip there. I mean, we actually made it through there perfectly. Usually we're just a little off when we clip it, but even the cedar kind of takes up a lot of room. And I know there's a lot of low-hanging trees here as well. We don't really have any big enough fields yet if I wanted to, add... Oh, this could be actually really tight. If we wanted to add a forward ag pull behind system or a BC Bueller. But there we go. We're in there. So you can go that way. Is there an actual... Because, like, this is the drive for it, but there's no actual, from what I can see... Wait, it looks like he actually might be just about done. Maybe, just maybe. Could I convince him to switch out with me? And I go get the roller? And my question is, when I roll this, will the weeds go away? That's where I'm curious. Also, I did find some other bins on the side down here. We just gotta download them, test them, because a few of them are on... They're on Patreons. They're not charged for, but they are on Patreons. Sometimes you don't get a fully tested thing, despite them saying, well, I have test. We also don't want to be planting oat. Still need to figure out what the catch crop, flower catch crop is. I'll give that a try one of these times. Grass. I'm just gonna keep going by it. So yeah, you know what? The selected crop is unavailable at this time. That was interesting. I mean, it looks like it can be planted. It looks like it'll be ready to harvest November. I'm intrigued. With that said, though, I don't know why I just did that. Clear any old course we get in here. We're gonna actually drop this down to 5-1, so we don't have any gaps. And let's work in the center first. Generate that course, because it's gonna take a minute. All right, let's start this worker. That is lovely. I'm gonna get them to switch out with me. I think that's the plan. I think now. Another thing that should actually remove the weeds. I mean, we're only throwing lime down, so wasn't expecting the weeds to be gone. But us seeding should just remove them for now. And I'm not too worried about them because it's going to be grass. But we really do need to actually do some research on the flowering catch crop and see what we can actually utilize that for. Because I'm wondering, does it work like a oilseed radish? Oilseed radishes you can harvest year round. This says limited harvest. We could plant it. I really need to research that. With that said, though, let's run over here. We'll let our worker run that. And we're going to go back and get the roller, the big roller. See if we can get that up here. How that'll fit up here. Be interested to see how that works out. But now that our workers get that under control, I wonder if I can drive out over here. Oh no, we're going to be in the way. What is this marker done? Is it just trying to race me to the end of the field? There we go. Start right there. Look at all the deer. I tell you what, the area we bought in, bullpen, might as well call it the home of the deer or something. I think if we got John Deere out here, there'd be even more showing themselves. I went through a fair amount of lime there, not gonna lie. And there's our soybean. Just kind of looking at it. Kind of looks a little rough on top. Maybe it's just the lighting. I don't know, but I'm hoping it's good. We sprayed, so there should be no weeds. Just would it'd be very saddening to have a low yield bean when we invested on that with 2 fields. Well, 3 fields essentially. But that right there, I almost want to take that tree out because that one will hang right there. We'll get this back up in the yard, and then we will grab the roller. Try not to take out everything. See, like right here, it looks good. So I guess that, yeah, that one kind of has too. It's just that in-game giant software circle. I have to adjust a few things. Definitely, you got to figure out something to put over here, by the way, too, where we're going to put a new shed or something, because gives it an interesting look. I mean, I could probably throw down some grass for the time being. There's a new corn header. For $17,000, I was like, you know what? It folds up, allows us to travel a little bit easier with it in the future. Not too worried. Just realized, too, we could probably move that roller out of there and that tank. Let's see if I can swivel this around. It's like after the save, it moves a little bit every time. There we go. A little bashing here and there, but get it rolling. Part of me does kind of want to go to a smaller roller if it's available. But for the price and the time, I mean, this one does the fields pretty quickly, if we're being honest. Just kind of a tough thing to tuck away. So maybe we can put it down where we just put our new low deck trailer at. And that'll be good to go from there. Let's swing this around. Ripping out the fence. There we go. Perfecto. I just have to remember it's right here, which, you know what? We're going to go down because I don't think I'm going to actually be able to swing that in there. It's a little different when we're you know, straight into the gate, but it's another thing, a sharp pinpoint to turn into it. So we're going to swing it back because, well, our seeder's running anyway, which will probably jump in right in that for a little bit. Pending no disasters. I'm just over here ripping about with the cedar. I think I'm going to use, don't know what this is right here. Would love to own this little piece of hillside though and put a grain bin in. That would be, whoa, a little slippery there. Put a bin in, that would be a nice little site. I should have shut this down. Let's take another gander at the store. I want to kind of thing. We got 70,000. We're not going to lose about 20 something thousand at the end of the month. So we got to keep that in mind still. I just realized I got both pieces of equipment with me, and if we need more fertilizer or seed, unfortunately the Unverth is on the ground back at the farm. Good news is that does have a little battery system on it that does run solo, so we could just drive up to it and refill if need to. A rock picker, I believe we have rocks turned off. But over here, all our livestock looking good. Like I said, mean velocity can go whenever they've done their job. And unfortunately, the cab that'll come from that we can't really have. Dixie's getting there. Elvis can stay. Trooper will have to go. So there's 2 bulls gone. I can honestly, Speckles, I might have to say goodbye after pregnancy, but Dixie and Lux will stay. 3rd bull here, Sparky will go. Max, we're going to push the limit there. We're going to push that limit, and hopefully by then, this new bull will, Sparky's offspring will take over the show. Jasmine will have to also go. Jupiter, we're good. Buttercup, we're good for a while. And Jody, we're good for a while. So, be all right. It'll be a decent little turnover with the herd. But, yeah. That's kind of want to look to see what's out there to add to the herd. But it is what it is. Contracts. Remember what I said? Wow. We got a couple contracts out there. 67 and 130. 131's up with us. Interesting. Sorghum. Almost $20,000. We have a system that can support that for sure. I think while they're gonna do this, let me see if I can cut right through the woods. We'll cut through the woods, we'll get it set up, and we'll be back. Well, I decided to take that contract. I don't know if that was my best decision. But we took the harvest contract. It's close enough to home. I feel, you know, it boosts our relationship with the neighbors. So, it's fine. We did just top off. Sorry. We did just top off the cedar. I was gonna say 365 and I don't know why. But yeah, they're all set and they should have more than enough to finish that field now. They were down to about 20% and still had the headlands, so I did not see that working out. So we just topped it off. Worst case scenario, the seed and fertilizer will sit in there for the next time we need it. And this might be for when we decide to try flowering cash crop. So it looks like it's still plugging away over here. Hopefully gonna be on the headlands soon, if not already on the headlands. Looks like they might be finally starting, so. But that should be enough. It was topped off when we started, so for them to be down below 20% on both tells me that they definitely were not going to make those headlands. We just get out of the way while we're moving everything around. We already have the harvester over to the sorghum field, just nobody to drive it right now, so I am going to probably kick that off and get that started. And then our hired hand will just have to run back over and roll that meadow that we're planting seeding. So I forget how far back this goes. You know, we worked this field up here on the left coming up a few times with that gate, which I probably could go look in G and see if maybe I could clip that out to give it some space. But there's also a way in over here. A little narrow, but it works. We're gonna let that jig brake take over as we come down here. So here the road kind of runs out. It's kind of a dirt path beyond that, but where we are, it's right in here, tucked away. Field 131. So I don't think we're gonna need. Shut this off. The grain cart, and I don't feel like going back to do it. Probably should take the 365 with the roller all the way back, just so when they go to switch out the seeder, it's there. Get this unfolded. We technically have another day to do this, but I want to get this done now. Everything's fired up. Looks good in here. Get the old cornhead course on there. I'm not too worried about that. We're gonna actually drop that course because we don't need that. We are not doing that. We're gonna keep that 3, 8.5's fine. Which I hope. I mean, hear me out here, folks. I probably should be double checking our header size. It is 8.5, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, and that is my worry here. Driving all over it. I was trying to find the center. Shouldn't be my center. Should be running a headland. There we go. Guess I didn't want to just pivot left and go for it. Okay. So our course is set. Raise it a little bit up. There we go. Just because it's sorghum, we just want to take the tops off. That's where all the good stuff is. We can leave the stalks pretty high. So it looks like a pretty good sorghum and pretty good yield already, I'd say, from what I'm seeing. And this David again. So David got quite a bit of stuff set up here. He's a man on a mission. Pretty large scale farm. And I just want to run back just to see the header. It is 8.5 confirmed. Okay, we were right. Anything new pop up? I would run the course. No. So no, yeah. So it's saying about an hour, 46 minutes, real life in game. That'll take us through the night. Temperature is 111. Says no rain in the forecast. We're actually gonna go take a look at that. No, see, boom, knew it. 7 and 9 a.m. happens every time, so that'd be enough to push it all the way back till later in the day. Well, let's hope that is what does not happen, and we can maybe get that done before then. So we'll probably work this contract through the evening then. I kind of want to jump on the map and see. Looks like he is down working that corner, so they're not far. Got to be getting near the end of those headlands. But we'll keep plugging here. Get this done. Like I said, we'll get that grass field rolled, and that'll probably be the point I think we should call it. We'll kind of start the next episode working this, depending on the time. But I appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. The series seems to be picking up more steam, so I thank you all for that. Definitely go check out the Incline tool. I know Randy mentioned it previously in one of the earlier episodes. We were talking about how I forgot to put it on, and it's kind of a key tool. We talked about it on a couple of live streams as well. It is now in the game for us, and it worked a charm. So go check it out if you haven't. It's on Mod Hub. It's a great little mod. It's in the cover photo as well. And I'll try to link it. Till next time, Farmer Taz out.